Holy underwhelming follow-up, Batman. Tiki here.
And BlueDragonFive.
And welcome to the animated Batcave. That's right, folks. It's the show where Blue Dragon, the channel's resident Batman aficionado and lover of all things Batman the Animated Series, takes me, your lovable loser who doesn't know anything about Batman the Animated Series, and takes me for a ride, kind of an episode-by-episode journey through what makes the animated series so great. And Dragon, wager to say this episode is not in the category of what makes Batman the Animated Series great.
Yeah, not necessarily. Yeah, you see, folks, long ago I made a vow to educate Tiki in the ways of Batman the Animated Series, serving as his spirit guide to Gotham in a way.
That's right, and tonight we're talking about The Cat and the Claws. Part 2. I really like the first part, Dragon. I just want to lay that out there. I just want to put that out there for everyone so I'm not just poo-pooing everything the whole night. First part, I was really into it, especially on a stylistic level. I really loved the use of gray in the backgrounds and the rooftop stuff with Batman and Catwoman. The only wonky part about part 1 was the mountain lion stuff, which was ridiculous. And, well, Dragon, the mountain lion stuff I don't think is as prevalent. Like, we don't hear it being brought up as much, even though it does get paid off. The one big problem this episode has for me is, oh, God, the Red Claw herself. This is just such
And I think that's why you like the first one better, because Red Claw is very minimal in the first one.
I think so. Dragon, this is just, she's a Captain Planet villain. That's it. It's like she's literally wanting to unleash some sort of virus. It's such a oh God. Okay, well, Dragon, just refresh us on the writers and everything so we can get into this.
I just provide a smidge of context because it's a continuation of all the stuff I laid out in the first part. So everyone go watch the first part. So our director on this is Dick Sebast. Dick Sebast, Dick Sebast and Kevin Altieri are very cinematic directors for Batman the Animated Series, and that's kind of why we have the really good direction. The previous one, Kevin Altieri did the Two-Face episodes. I mean, the guy's really good. Dick Sebast is also another one. These two guys, they work together. Honestly, I've seen them work together well in two-parters, because if I'm remembering correctly, they both did the Robin's Reckoning episodes. It was Kevin Altieri and Dick Sebast. Again, these guys are kind of like a two-parter team, if you will. We have the same writers involved. I'm going to build to this area. Lauren Bright, we had Jules Dennis, Richard Muller, and of course Sean Catherine Derrick, who is very much so the culprit for the environmental. Basically, all the messagey stuff in this episode isn't really kind of wowing.
The Red Claw, a woman,
and that's the gag, folks. To recap the thing with Sean.
It's just like Dragon. If Iron Man came upon a woman villain, do you think he'd be phased at all about the fact that she's a woman? That's my whole thing. I just want to get up on my soapbox a little bit. I think today, of course we're still going through civil rights stuff, and I don't want to drag that into the podcast. Of course, we as human beings are not perfect, but I'd like to think that we're on the level where if you see a villain who is a woman, it'd be like, could you imagine if Luke Cage was like, Sigourney Weaver's the bad guy?
But she punched that alien. Why is she the bad guy?
Right. It's just, to me, just explicitly making a point out of oh, I'm a woman, Batman. Oh, of course, leave it to a woman to bring you down. You don't have to hammer in the fact that she's a woman. It's so dated, Dragon. It's so dated.
Yeah, and again, there's a kind of a feminist, there's a mild feminist agenda, this one. And
I mean, I really hate to say it, but the fact that they hammer in the woman thing so much, for me, in terms of modern day feminism, it's almost kind of insulting in a way. It's like, hey, do you get it? Do you get it? You didn't expect a woman to be a bad guy, but she is a bad guy. Do you get it? It's like, okay, I get it.
And again, mainly what it is, it's them spelling out that on a kid's show that, hey, women can be bad guys too. And again, that's really what it is. It's kind of to show, hey, everyone's capable of evil kids. And also we have like this environmental stuff there, and Chunk, Catherine, Derek, of course, lastly, and then we'll just move on to the recap. Again, she's famous for kind of bringing that in the first season. She didn't really stick around that long in the first season, and it's not that she was like a terrible writer necessarily. She just had an agenda with the show, with kind of.
I could see herself writing like some fantastic Captain Planet episodes.
It's like basically out of all the writers, she was like they're all kind of striving to kind of upgrade Saturday morning, where she's just kind of sticking in the mold of Saturday.
Exactly,
morning.
exactly.
Hey, let's just do something like a Saturday matinee instead of a Saturday morning cartoon. In this case, she's like, hey, let's write a cross between G.I. Joe and Captain Planet with a bad guy.
Hey, Dragon, I hate to go into it, but like, I honestly think there's a Batman in my basement or whatever the hell that episode was. Like, at least that was like more entertaining and had its own identity and everything. Like, that one kind of had like a weird sort of like, Amblin-esque, like, Spielbergian kids vibe going on. This just has nothing. Just feels like, just like all the like G.I. Joe, like, tropes just rolled in. I don't know. Let's get into it.
Yeah, so we'll break that down, I guess, a little more towards the climax, I guess. Anyway. So, yes.
So, I will give it credit. I think maybe the first scene might be the best scene in the whole episode.
Yes, this is a continuation off of this is a payoff in itself of Batman threatening the mob boss, basically, so we get information about Red Claw. Let's bear in mind, folks, we did kind of spoil it with kind of our. Well, no, we didn't spoil it. We, the audience, knew that it was Red Claw, but Batman still is playing catch up here, where he does not know that Red Claw is a woman quite yet. He'll learn it.
A woman?
It'll be spelled out for him later, kids.
Yes, it will be spelled out. Yes.
No, but we have this fun bit when this line's really, really good here. Batman has to the mob boss. He's basically trying to make sure, like, of course, Batman emerges from Shadow, which is cool always. He asks Batman, he says, "Well, do you have the information?" He says, "Yeah, but I was just wondering if." Basically, he's trying to kind of strike a deal with Batman. I give you this, you lay off the South Side, and I always love this line with Batman. He lifts the guy by the lapels again, and he says, he grabs by the lapels and threatens him, "Keep this up." And basically, how's this?
You from all sides, north, south, east, and west.
Yep, I'll keep this up on all sides, north, south, east, and west. Good line. Let's see. So he tells Batman about the train heist rumors. The rumors that there's a train heist going on tonight, and of course pulls a bad exit on the guy.
It's a good bad exit too.
Yes, it is.
All right, so Gordon and Batman are kind of quickly speculating. I wish we had more Gordon in this episode, because I like Gordon kind of like calling out the government shadiness and stuff. I wish we had more of that.
And by the way, I did look into this, and absolutely, Captain Claw, first time we get the Batman Gordon scenes in the animated series, which is cool. Yes, so he tells Jim about the heist. They speculate being military, and I like this too, that we have. I'm right. We have this is in the car, right?
No, this is in Gordon's office, I think.
Right. Sorry, I'm thinking of some. I'm thinking of later scenes. Sorry. Anyway, but yes. Oh my gosh, really. They basically kind of playing, kind of bouncing back and forth off each other, kind of get into the solution as they typically do. Again, very much like we see in the '60s Batman show, but done much cooler. Much kind of cooler and kind of in the Burton. It's kind of like it's kind of the moody gothic take of kind of like your '60s Batman kind of scene where Batman and Gordon having their scenes together, which is kind of cool. We're finally getting kind of like the comics put on.
All you need is a Chief O'Hara with like a serious alcohol problem or something.
Well, that would be Bullock.
True.
Oh, technically, yeah, that's the mold that kind of Bullock fills in the animated series. He's very much he's a more serious Chief O'Hara.
All
right. Yes, and you're right. Gordon calling out the government on their stuff.
Blasted feds and their secrets.
Yeah. So he's going to call the feds and kind of figuring out what the big secret is. Where are the feds hiding? So meanwhile, we have the train.
All right, Dragon, I'm going to give like the one singular compliment to Red Claw. All right, are you ready? Are you ready for it?
Yes.
Okay, I love the fucking like the rail rocket thing that she pulls up on. Like, honestly, I would have watched a whole episode of like the Red Claw just developing that technology and like robbing trains with that thing. I love the practicality of it.
Yeah. Basically, it's this propelled platform, this propelled train platform that basically like gets into the train. It's a cool train heist. You gotta admit that.
Yeah, that's like the one positive thing I can say about Red Claw. It's like, I really like that. I really like that design for the train thing. That's clever. That's clever.
Basically, everything until she hammers in the point that, hey, I'm a woman.
Pretty much, yeah.
Which again is something we praised the first half for, with the whole Selena not having that, but I'm a woman. that she had in Returns.
And to be fair, I think Selena in this episode too, like they continue that into this episode. It's really just Red Claw that's the problem.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's see. So we got the train heist going on. They blow the cars, they blow the train cars apart, which again cleverly separates the soldiers. So now there's no backup to kind of interfere with the heist, which again is some clever planning. They use some knockout gas on the guards. They use some explosives. They open the door from the outside. Batman using the Bat Glider pursues him, and
Now I will say I do think this episode lacks the kind of like big theatrical moments that the first part had, but Batman with the Bat Glider, that was one of those few moments that was great and kind of lived up to the first part, I thought.
And of course, I don't know if it was the first ever use, but you gotta remember the Bat Glider, the very famous kind of panel from Batman Year One, where he's using the Bat Glider.
So
got some cool. You got a lot of comic book influences in this show. They pull from a lot of stuff from Batman's history, even at that point in time with the animated series. Okay, so while he's descending, he takes out two guys, which is just cool. He lands on two guys and he takes them out. Batman knows how to make an entrance. Boy, does he!
Oh yeah.
Let's see. So he battles. I want to say at least 3 men as Red Claw goes for the plague. Let's see. Batman discovers that Red. Yes, here we go. So Batman.
Red Claw, a woman.
Red Claw, a woman.
God. I'm sorry, Kevin Conroy. I love you to death, man, but they can't all be zingers.
It's like some lines you just can't finesse,
Right.
And again, importantly with Batman, this doesn't change anything for him because he has the boy.
I'm an equal opportunity crime fighter.
Yeah.
That was a straight face, right?
I'm an equal. Most
See, you can't. You literally can't say it with a straight face.
I'm an equal opportunity crime fighter.
There you go. You get a cookie.
So let's see. So then again, basically the thing with Red Claw here with the plague and everything is that it's addressing terrorism on a children's show, which is is
totally like G.I. Joe / Captain Planet. I hate to keep bringing that up, but that's just entirely what it feels like.
I feel if Red Claw actually had her own episode instead of being kind of squeezed into the Catwoman episode, they could actually do something really clever.
Like if it was just like a 1-part episode.
Yeah, if it was all Red Claw. Again, later on, we're going to get an episode where Red Claw actually is like the solo bad guy, and that episode I think plays a lot better than this because she's not friendly. And I'm not saying it's fantastic. I'm just saying again, it's better. I think it plays to her strengths a lot better than it does here. And again,
because like you said, I mean this whole 2-parter it doesn't really work as a 2-parter because it's juggling so many things all at once. You know what I mean? It's like we have to have the introduction to Catwoman, we have to have the Bruce and Selena dynamic, we have to have the actual Red Claw storyline.
Yeah, and again, we raised some interesting questions about there briefly here, and again, it turns G.I. Joe really fast. I'm saying it's like the moment we have here where she's again they're breaching on something here, but we don't really explore it. Where seemingly in the scene on the rewatch, she's willing to die on this thing here. She says, basically, "I'll drop it, Batman." Says, you'll wipe out I forget if it was it'll wipe out 5 miles or something. Basically, you're really destructive. She drops her, she unleashes it here, and just the fact that, again, it's kind of the mature underlying thing in that scene. Like, oh man, like an actual terrorist, she's willing to
No, I mean, you're right. That is the kind of stuff that I like in a solo episode. I could see them focusing more on, and it'd actually be really interesting. But there's just not enough here. Like that moment in itself is good.
I mean, think about someone willing to die for their mission, and in an episode on its own, which again we don't really get it like this, but an episode on its own exploring that theme, which would be gutsy. You could also explore how Batman, as a character, is a guy who's willing to die for his mission to help people.
Right.
That'd be a good parallel. Anyway, so then we have...
Now Dragon, of course...
here's the G.I. Joe, Captain Planet of it all.
Like, she has this goodwill. I mean, I guess goodwill is the wrong word, but like she builds up like, all right, this is kind of interesting. You know, she's willing to die, but then of course, like she ruins it with this awful line.
As she
You
leaves,
finally met your match, Batman. It's not surprising that it's a woman.
if I were Batman, I'd say, did you literally not hear what I just said? Equal opportunity. Come on.
And again, Dragon, I'm sorry. It's just like, do we really like? Isn't it more progressive to just be like, hey, look, it's a, you know, it's like the fact that we have to, like, I understand it's a different time and it's a kid show, but it just does not hold up. It really doesn't.
Yeah, it's on the nose.
Oh God.
All right, let's see.
Oh
So
God,
after
hold
that,
on. I'm sorry. Back to my Defenders joke, right? Luke Cage was the wrong example. All right, the real moron who would be thrown off by it would be Danny Rand. All right. No way. The bad guy is a woman? That can't be right.
She wasn't in a cage match at all.
Oh man. And then, of course, Luke Cage would be the guy like, hey, man, women can be bad guys too, yo. No, Luke.
God, just look at Black Mariah. She's much thinner than
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm done. I just needed to take that opportunity to bash Danny Rand. Okay.
Anyway, getting off the Iron Fist and back onto our story.
Yes.
So here we go. Here's a really great thing. I always love this it's a little homage. They don't really you go on the nose with it here. Like Batman Brave and the Bold, of course, would be more on the nose with. Nothing against them because they would reference the 60s directly. Here we go. Like a really nice kind of classy nod to the 60s here. Where here's the call scene I was jumping forward to earlier. So here's a great kind of Gordon Batman scene. It's actually more interesting visually what we're doing here. So
it is, yeah.
No, I always love the Office. I will. The Office of the Rooftop scenes are still some of my favorite scenes of Batman Gordon. But this is like a clever way of also kind of doing it differently here, where it's in broad daylight, so we can have like Bruce Wayne, talking as Batman on the phone here. Basically, Gordon's calling mentions to Batman on the phone. He called the general. He had a conversation with the general, and I'm sorry. Actually, I'm so excited talking. I'm jumping out again. So basically, Gordon's on the phone with the general, and I love this. In fact, he's on the phone with the general, and he's on the phone with the general. He's like complaining to the general again, kind of Gordon against the government, against the higher ups. Very much. The Fed's always keeping secrets. He's telling the general, "Well, General, had we known about the train heist, maybe we could have helped."
Yeah, right.
Again, Gordon is really fed up with bureaucracy, which is that's kind of the style of Gordon they were operating on this series with, and it feels very consistent with his character. He gets another, Gordon being fed up with the guy fed up with corruption, like the higher ups always kind of playing mind games, so he's always kind of fed up with the company establishment in many ways like that. Anyway, so he's, excuse me, General, I got another call, and I love he hangs up on the general, and for the more important call, which is he pulls out from the secret drawer, pulls out a separate phone line. Which is a separate phone. It's not red. It's a separate phone.
Right, yeah.
And again, paying homage to the Bat phone because he's calling Batman. Well, he's picking up Batman's calling him, and it's like that. Again, they were shying away from the Bat signal at this point, but at the same time, we're just doing clever things like that. Like, hey, there's like a realistic version of the Bat phone.
I like that. That kind of feels like the Nolan version of the Bat phone.
Yeah, separate phone line for Batman, and Batman did in The Dark Knight. Batman did contact him on a phone, telling him that Officer Berg was, Officer Berg had the family member in the hospital, and he was gonna kill Coulson Reese, Coleman Reese. Right? Anyway. Yeah, it was like one of the little homage to the Bat phone.
Just Agent Coulson popping into Dark Knight. Hey guys, I know who Batman is. Don't kill me for a second time.
Cap, save me!
God.
Okay, seriously though, just the last thing here, the cleverness of the visuals I'm getting at here is that Bruce is in broad daylight driving.
Oh yeah,
and
it's great.
Talking.
Yeah.
And he's talking the Batman voice, which is something we saw like on Leather Wings, where he can be looking completely different and putting on the other voice, which is kind of a cool duality with Batman you got going on there. So basically, he's filling Batman in on the car ride for his day with Selina. He is basically Gordon's telling him the Red Claw demands $1 billion in gold bullion, or she unleashes the plague. Which, by the way, $1 billion in gold bullion. Of all, you can't just take it in cash, Red Claw. Why does it have to be? You realize how inconvenient that's going to be for everyone. Why not just cash?
Right.
Anyway, so it's exposited that could kill 10 million people if that plague gets out there. We established stakes, which definitely put a divot in.
I mean, it's high stakes. I won't argue that it's definitely high stakes.
And again, this is the classy way of addressing the whole Red Claw thing. As Gordon mentions very casually, I can't believe it's a woman while the feds were looking for a man. Again, he's going to throw in the feds under the bus instead of saying, hey, it's a woman. It's like, hey, they've been looking for the wrong guy.
Golly B.G. Willikers, Batman. Can you believe it's a woman?
I mean, that's the better way. But it's not on the nose. Just like that's a way. If you have to put it in there, that's how you should put it in there.
All right.
Okay, let's see. So
Bruce and Selena go to lunch. Take 2.
Then Bruce has that Saturday morning line. Well, I've been learning lately not to underestimate the members of the opposite sex, and then he pulls.
Yeah.
Again, visually, at least it's visually interesting. The Batman while he's driving there is like, hey, punchline. It's the beautiful girl he's enamored with. Yeah. So, take 2. This is a cool sequence here.
She promises a much more exciting date, which is you might want to choose a better choice of words there, Selena.
I gotta tell you, this is probably my second favorite bit in the episode here. This sequence, I really love this.
It's a good chase scene. It is. It's cool to see Bruce Wayne in an action scene.
I know, right? That's kind of it's kind of right. We do get a few scenes in the animated series of Bruce Wayne being able to do some action, being forced in some situations where we know he's Batman, but he's just Bruce Wayne. What else? So Bruce notices that they're being followed, and I love how that's directed by he sees in the reflection. Again, he's just, oh boy, we're doing some neat stuff there. Or he's just, again, he's kind of Bruce Wayne always in Batman mode, because again, he's Batman with Bruce Wayne as the mask, and the classic thing with Batman there. It's cool. And both of their dual lives are kind of intervening in their date right now, which is also cool. They're following Selena, but at the same time, Bruce is kind of taking evasive action as Batman, saving her like he did the previous night.
Exactly. Cool. Right.
They're attacked by the car that's tracking them. He's making jokes. Again, they're really good chemistry between Kevin Conroy and Adrienne Barbeau in this, as always. These characters really building some good kind of relationship stuff. Again, different relationships because they're more friends here. Friends who want to be what Bruce wants to be more.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Where we have romantic chemistry of Batman Catwoman. It's like the whole what is he, an old boyfriend? It just gives like a roll of the eyes. Again, feels kind of Gotham-esque. The whole I want to see that.
Oh God, it does feel like Gotham. You're right. I didn't even think about it, but yeah,
it feels like kind of a back and forth between Bruce and Selena then, which is kind of nice.
Oh man. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Then we have a ramming battle in the midst of it. They're ramming the back of the car. I love the usually classic cars, by the way, of course, with the 30s look.
Let's
see.
Bruce basically kind of switches around, drives in the opposite direction towards the thug.
He plays chicken with him.
Yeah.
Plays chicken with him. Remember that great lesson we got in the Underdweller, Sticky? You play chicken, you get fried.
Goddamn right.
Yes, which is cool. That is again that to me is just, that's a cool that's like how you take kind of the Adam West kind of morals, but you also kind of make it kind of cool. Right. They were already cool. I'm just saying that's how you kind of make that Kevin.
Well, what's funny? It's like I think the Adam West morals are cool specifically because they're so cheesy.
Yeah.
Like the thing with the morals here, the feminist stuff is it's not cool because they're trying to take it so seriously. You know what I mean?
Yeah, where it's again, you kind of reach the similar great thing with the Adam West thing and the Kevin Conroy thing, where when it's said, it's said where he's not wrong, when the character isn't wrong, where the character's not wrong, or not losing their cool factor, or they're not just forcing it. It's it's a natural thing that makes sense. He just saved him, he's expositing wisdom, so these kids don't do it again, warning him, hey, what you're trying to do, your game of chicken almost got you literally fried or killed.
All right.
Okay, yes, so...
how'd you learn to drive like that? The Paris Grand Prix. I'm thinking about entering one day.
That's lovely. And Kevin Conroy turning on kind of he calls it playing Bruce Wayne as a himbo. It's like a
himbo.
Like a male bimbo. That's what he's called. He's a himbo. Basically, he plays it like the Playboy, the boy billionaire. He's maybe one of these days I'll enter. Voice is maybe one of these days I'll enter. That sort of thing.
I got to be honest with you. I honestly think Batfleck does the best just the best bimbo. Like that one scene where he was like pretending to be drunk in Batman v Superman. That
like
really did it for me. anyways.
All right, let's see. So, okay, so Bruce Wayne, he sees Selina up because, again, afraid of more attacks going on.
It's not every day I get to fill out police reports.
Maybe they were after, her saying, they were after me. Maybe they were after you. A nice guy like me? Again, that's what I'm loving about the duel thing that Kevin Conroy does. He sells that line.
He's just like so oblivious. Like, it's like, oh, I'm a nice guy. No one would ever go after me, even though I'm an obvious target because I'm bloated.
And again, it's every time he does, it just adds that
like
level.
He plays off the fact that like he wouldn't think about them targeting him for money. You know what I mean? Like, you believe that he wouldn't think about that.
Exactly. It's him playing up this like Bruce Wayne. He's not thinking of these serious matters. He just plays him. He plays him with that great sense of irony that that's the great dramatic irony. We the audience know who he is, and him just making that as like, oh, Batman's so clever, is kind of deflecting like that. That's awesome.
Right.
Okay. Anyway, so she's saying goodnight. Then we get a really nice bit of Bruce Wayne. This is nice, and again, kind of in my heart of hearts, I'd love to think maybe it's like a. Bear in mind, it's now looking on like that they had never intended this. I'm saying part of me like to think, feels a little bit like a nod to Phantasm with the love that Bruce Wayne has in that movie. But basically, Bruce Wayne is really nice, but really good acting. Kind of what he's saying. Very serious Bruce Wayne saying, Selina, if you're in trouble, I wish you'd tell me. Mm-hmm. Bruce, she says, Bruce, thank you, Bruce, but I'm not a damsel in distress. I'll be okay. And she. Let's see. I'm trying to think of. Oh, right, here we go. So, Bruce again offering you can help. That perhaps I can help. I care about you, Selina. I haven't felt this way in a long time. I like to think that's in some way maybe a reference to Andrea Beaumont. I know it wasn't, but in my heart of hearts, like in the history that we now know of Bruce Wayne,
right.
He's cared. We know it's Bruce Wayne. That's the most he's ever cared about a woman with Andrea Beaumont.
I mean, honestly, Dragon, I love your enthusiasm. I think you're stretching a little bit.
I know I am. Again, it was before they did exactly that movie at all. So that's, I'm just saying, like retroactive, looking at now with the context of that.
Like maybe you're hoping that they had this episode in mind when they were doing Phantasm, perhaps.
No. I'm just saying, like now, looking back on now having like the universe.
Like, ooh, there's context.
I'm saying it's like retroactive context. It's like now that we've had now we know all this stuff about Bruce Wayne, kind of adds these lines that now unintentionally now have more meaning to them, maybe. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so yes, so Selina thanks him. She's expecting more multi. Again, she's protecting Bruce here, which is kind of nice. She doesn't want Bruce getting attacked by multi-gun again because we've done this in Gotham too, by the way, and again I like that we did it here first.
Right.
That Selina saying like is she. Well, in Gotham, Selina, she put on Bruce Wayne, say, "Hey, maybe they were tracking you," or actually they were tracking her because she was the witness. So, anyway, Selina just she's protecting Bruce by she's getting ready for the multi-gun guys to attack again. So now she knows she's on the right scent.
Yeah. We'll just kind of pick up the pace a little bit.
All right. Yeah, so now she knows that there's a bunker underneath the site that the multi-gun wants to build on, which time to do some digging.
Mm-hmm. Gets changed to the Catwoman costume as Maven's there, sort of, filling her in on stuff.
And again, this is a great parallel here. While that's happening, we see the absolute parallel that while Bruce and Alfred are going through the exact same thing, where Bruce is changing into his costume and Alfred's kind of voicing. Again, a very similar conversation between the two. Again, kind of showing the mirror up to each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alfred finds a cat hair that Batman recognizes again from when Isis had the cat hair.
This is a fucking fantastic line, all right? I've never seen a hair that color. Batman has. I'm not even saying that ironically. I just love the seriousness of that.
Let's see. Meanwhile, while Selina's out going to the multi-gun site, again, now Bruce is basically being the great detective that he has put it together. Now he knows, Selina and Catwoman are the same person. Mm. And Maven is attacked by...
I just want to point out, she's pouring herself a nice glass of lemonade, and it's like, I just feel bad for her, it's like she's about to sit
orange juice or something.
Yeah, it's like she looks like she's about to relax, and then this thug's going to get all in her face, and Batman's going to say, like, leave, It's like she just wants to spend a nice evening alone. I just want to point that out. I felt bad for her.
You know, it's a nicely nice directing in this episode. You gotta give it that. You got some really nice shots composite. Again, like him looking at the reflection in the mirror during the driving sequence, and now we have this where she's looking at the reflection of the table, and that gives away the guy who's trying to kill her.
Oh, right.
Anyway, so she's attacked by one of Red Claw's men. The reflection reveal. Batman has the punch.
Yep.
Basically, and this is cool. Again, I tell you, this is like, I love when Batman saves people. This really jazzed me out of my mind here, where it's just, like the guy, like he's about to, and this is when you do that message right here. He's about to raise a hand to a woman in a negative way, not like a whole like PC way, like, oh, we gotta say something about this.
No, I mean, you're right. That is like that is a good sort of, it's not calling out like, Batman didn't have a line like Batman never hits a woman. You know what I mean? Because of course Batman is going to hit a woman. He's going to have a fight with Red Claw, and he might not necessarily hit her, but you know what I mean? It's like we don't have to have it hammered in.
Anyway, so we have that bit where he grabs the arm and he has like with his finger, and he punches him and he saves the girl, and really great. She puts on the glasses and she's startled by Batman who's like right in front of her. So I mean that's all good stuff. Anyway, so again, Batman just kind of confronts her, saying, basically, look, you can cut the stuff. I know that she's Catwoman. And again, this is really nice here. And just good acting here. And then we're setting up my favorite payoff of the episode, my favorite scene of the episode. We're setting it up where Batman knows that Selina, and he gets cuts through with Maven and warns her that Selina's in danger, and she's in danger. Maven tells her she's at the Multigon site. He tells her, go somewhere safe quickly. Don't even. She like says, I know, I'll go. Don't. Shh.
I like that detail. I like that you bring it up. Yeah, like he's so urgent about it. He's like, okay, somewhere safe, go there.
And this bit here sets up my favorite part later on. Is just where Batman's leaving. She says, so long as you know, she's in love with you.
I gotta say, Dragon, I thought that line was a bit on the nose, personally.
I mean, I like Batman's reaction, him knowing this sets up kind of what he knows he's going to have to do. Basically, he says, I mean, I like her too, but I can't allow her to go on doing what she's doing. Basically, knowing what he's going to have to do, and now this kind of adds that pain. That's like, you see a sad Batman face too. It's like the eyes just go. He looks really sad in that moment.
Also, Dragon, I want to point out in this transition, I might be freaking crazy, all right? And this might just be me, like, really wanting this to be in there. We also have
really good music with this transition, too, by the way.
Okay, I want to point that out with the music, yeah. For me, it sounded like it's just a little hint of Casablanca.
That's what I'm saying. That's the relationship.
Like,
and that's again. That's why you should like the whole. She's in love with you a bit.
Look, it's fine. I just think the wording of that is a little on the nose. I don't know.
Right.
It's fine.
Okay,
it's not nearly as problematic as any of the Red Claw stuff.
All right, so let's talk about the mountain lions.
Meanwhile, with the mountain lions, because that's what everybody's been wanting to know about in this two-parter.
Oh, by the way, as Batman leaves in the yes, we have a thug upside down, which is classic Batman. Anyway, yeah, so we have literally a mountain lion. So we're seeing that mountain again. Like the gun is on the table. There's the mountain lion. We're gonna have some payoff.
Yep, exactly.
On the Multigon site. Let's see. Oh yes, Selina hog ties a henchman, and now the henchman is now left with that mountain lion. So she possibly killed that man.
Possibly, right.
Let's see. We see the Batwing. The Batwing, Batman's giant, awesome-looking aircraft, enters free. Kind of crosses the moon. And a little bit of an 89 reference there. Catwoman. Catwoman takes pictures of the base so she can, basically so she can the resort plan, basically make sure she preserves the mountain lion thing. Again, she's not really focusing on like stopping Red Claw. She's like,
okay, I want to bring that up. I'm glad you mentioned that. Like, it seems like all Catwoman is preoccupied with throughout both of these episodes is taking fucking pictures. And look, I understand that you need evidence to take these guys down and everything, but you're right. It's like she could be a little bit more proactive about it.
Now, to be fair, as far as she's concerned, she just thinks she thinks it's just Multigon trying to shut her down. She doesn't know that's a terrorist leader, so that's something you got to give her there.
All right, fair enough.
Like right now, she still isn't. She's taking pictures to shut down Multigon, make sure the site goes to the mountain lions. The mountain lions.
God.
Anyway, so then and she captures Red Claw in a photo, which is not good because now Red Claw is not happy with that.
Mm-hmm.
We have the two gunmen mock her, and then Batman enters and he just knocks them out. Knocks their heads together. Yeah, you've got to. We got to get out of here. And then they are trapped by Red Claw, and they are welcomed by Red Claw.
I promise you it'll be a short stay, Batman.
Welcome to the resort. Plan on a short stay.
God.
This very, very Bond villain. Like, not in a good way.
She reminds me of? She reminds me of like a more serious version of Natasha from Rocky and Bullwinkle.
I could see that.
Moose and squirrel, Batman. Anyways,
let's see. Batman and Catwoman are tied up together. Red Claw, she's giving them a little history lesson about the facility. And I will say this, though, again, this is like kind of that element that I feel if they could have crafted, again, if in her own story, this might have been cool, because I kind of like the backstory of this plan that Red Claw is expositing, kind of what's motivating her plan a little bit here. Basically, she's going again. I guess maybe it feeds in the kind of that Snyder kind of history of Gotham thing. I really like. Maybe that's it. Just Red Claw giving this history lesson about the facility and how it was built to shelter the high officials of Gotham in case there was like a nuclear incident. Just the idea, that Gotham would have one of those and be kind of built, deep within Gotham.
Right.
It's a small thing. How that factors into her plan. That's where her base of operations is. Anyway, so she plans. She plans on using the plague on Batman. Again, here's that terrorist thing. Again, we could hit upon that. Hey, this is a good message to expose the kids. Don't trust terrorists. It's not going to go well because
yeah, that's a little that's some good life advice there.
But seriously, again, in an episode about terrorism to kids, what you could have had is kind of this useful message that she says she's going to use the fake an empty canister as a placebo for blackmail, basically, so they can still get the money and get out of there, and they can unleash the plague. It's still going to kill a lot of people, and they get their money. So again, that's a good terrorist plan, and again, it's a good simple one to kind of expose to the kiddies out there.
Yeah,
it'll be gone by the time they realize it's a fake, and okay. So anyway, then she drops, basically leaves them to their doom, very Bond style, and she just drops these little acid dropper. The acid eats the container in a few minutes. When it does that, they will seal the facility, thus sealing Batman and Catwoman's fates.
And don't forget, the guy also warns Catwoman, like, oh, the plague could also harm the wildlife. You wouldn't want that. And Catwoman's like, oh, fuck that. That's enough. We need a woman's touch here. They harm the mountain lions. They threaten the mountain lions.
Yeah. Let's see. So Catwoman essentially uses her claws. And honestly, again, we get some... they're going for cinematic action, but cinematic in terms of like an action movie versus kind of like, like a movie.
Yes.
I don't mean to make that disparaging against action movies. I just mean
like Hitman's Bodyguard versus Logan Lucky. You mean action movie versus movie in that way, Dragon?
For movies I have seen, let's say it's Hitman's Bodyguard versus Baby Driver. Let's just say.
Okay, fair enough. That makes sense. All right.
my point is, let me amend that a little bit. Just, it's like your more sophisticated action movie versus your by the numbers action movie. It's like not Die Hard 1, but let's just say it's Die Hard 2.
Sure.
Anyway, so actually, Die Hard 4. Die Hard 4 is the safer.
Live Free or Die Hard.
Well, you're right. I got 5. 5 was the terrible one. Yeah. Okay. Fine. So it's.
I really I'm sure 5 is terrible. I really wasn't a fan of Live Free or Die Hard either.
Oh, believe me, it was better than 5. Just trust me.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
It was way better than 5.
I'm sure the Kevin Smith cameo alone puts it above 5.
And again, Justin Long's good in that movie.
He is.
Anyways, okay.
That movie just had a weak sauce villain.
It did, and he's good on another show, but he's just not so good.
Right. Anyways.
Okay. Anyways, the Catwoman use their claws, cut through the ropes. They are free, and they break the ropes together. They begin evacuating the base. The bases. They hit the alarms on the bases being evacuated. Before they leave, Batman tells, and this is again nice little bit of sacrificial stuff with Batman. This is the action stuff I'm talking about. It's kind of cool, but at the same time not really thought provoking or kind of like super cinematic. It's before they leave, Batman tells her to go. Hey, you get out of here because again he cares about this one. Hey,
I like the desperation in Conroy though. Go, please.
And again, I'm telling you, there's shades of this in Phantasm.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure there are.
Believe me, it's not as cinematic as that. It's far better there. But I'm just saying there's some shades there. Just kind of dawning on me now. Anyway, so she goes while he destroys the place. You make sure he seals the plague. And and you're right. That please is just really, it's really very heroic and has good heroic music in it too. So Batman's using fuel. And this is kind of cool. So Batman's using fuel from the.
This is like ridiculous and over the top, but this is kind of like Batfleck Batman. This is like a Batfleck Batman action scene without the killing.
Yeah, without the killing, sure. So basically, he's using fuel from like a fuel tank. He leads a trail to the plague, and again, it's clever.
It's clever. It's just ridiculous, though.
Yeah. Then Batman, grabs a grenade.
So much fire animation, Dragon. So much fire.
He basically throws a grenade out the window as he is driving away, so to ignite the plague. Just as it's being released, and now the plague, of course, is like being snuffed out. Mm-hmm. Let's see. So lights the base on fire, and boom, he just drives through it. And he has a really cool escape where he bursts through the thing and with the giant explosion behind him.
Again, kind of like Batfleck.
And it's cool. It kind of takes out one of Red Claw's helicopters by jumping out of the truck while it's on fire.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see. So as that's going on, Red Claw is about to escape as well, but she is. We see the police helicopters arrive. Gordon's arresting Red Claw's men, thanks to Batman, which is cool. Mm-hmm. And we have Red Claw versus Catwoman.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Red Claw versus Catwoman. She has. And we see that. Red Claw has skill and she has strength on her side. What's going on there? Catwoman again. She has more agility and kind of thieving skills. It's kind of good going on. She's very peeved at her crumbled organization because Catwoman, who didn't even know anything about Red Claw's operation, which just kind of makes this kind of strange.
True, yeah.
She's really mad at Catwoman. Again, these two stay at
this whole episode is called The Cat and the Claw, and yet.
Yeah, I mean, they really had no idea what the. Catwoman really had no stakes in this fight, except for the mountain lions.
Yeah.
Red Claw kind of threatened.
All the mountain lions come back, God damn it. So.
If you just literally, if Red Claw just could have said that, it's honestly, I don't know why she really needed the resort thing. She just needed the base. Just like, hey, let's sneak down to the line. Exactly. Let's just not tell anyone. Let's not draw attention.
Oh God.
I don't know. I guess we need infrastructure. I don't know.
That's ridiculous.
Anyway, so you will pay, and then the mountain lion saves Selena.
Thanks, friend.
I tell you, this is ridiculous. You're gonna love this. The thanks friend, I want to say, is a minor callback to that thanks friend with Gordon and Batman.
Okay. Sure.
Think about it. We go from a scene of Catwoman being saved by her friend, and now literally the next scene is Batman and Gordon having like a little scene together. I don't know. It's a little bit of that and the same line being used. Very vague connection. Okay, she blows a kiss to Batman, then she leaves. Then we have this this is ridiculous. It's a Batman Gordon scene with literally the most exciting background ever. There's a fire going on behind him. Just having a conversation. Honestly, you need just like a single wallpaper. Just like we've literally done all the Batman Gordon meeting scenes. It's like the guys done with literally fire behind them.
Right.
But they're cool. They can handle fire behind them without being.
The virus went up with smoke, along with Red Claw's future.
Yeah. And again, Gordon has a good line here. And this shows kind of the trust that he's putting in Batman at this point in the series, which is kind of good to note. I should have known everything would be wrapped up by the time we got here. Mm-hmm. And, of course, Batman said, this to me is on the rewatch, this hits me a little better than they did way back when I said, Gordon saying, I knew I should have known this would be wrapped up. Where Batman has this moment of pause where he says, almost, because he knows, and he could get away with it. He could let her go, but he knows deep down it's not the right thing to do. So he says to again a guy who he has some trust in here, almost basically without saying it, saying, "Yeah, I gotta do the right thing here, even though it's going to be a kind of personal cost to me." Mm-hmm. Here we go. Here's my favorite scene in the episode right here. So, a very sad ending.
Would you wager to say, Dragon? It's so sad.
I would, but it doesn't sound quite right coming from me, Tiki. How would that
It's so sad.
Bingo.
Okay.
But seriously, this is a nice sad ending. Really, this is the most memorable thing for me out of the episode, aside from that car, the car chase. Mm-hmm. Sad ending for Batman as he greets Selena in her apartment. he hasn't told, she asked you, did you tell the police about me? He said, no, not yet. Why not? And oh man, this line, I love Conroy's delivery on this. I didn't want you taken away like a common criminal. So you do care. Then we have the reveal, and most reveal, like her eyes go wide as she hears the sound, the handcuffs like on her, and then we pan down. Well, this is the final shot. And we have that sad, we don't have sad music. We start sad music. And I love that we don't even hear all that sad music. Just like we come down, we hear, and we focus on the image there with Catwoman in handcuffs, which is just kind of, that's the point of the episode where Batman, as much as he wants, to let Catwoman go free, he has to bring her in, and he has that line we see with that image on screen. More than you will ever know. Man, that's powerful. More than you will ever know.
It's good. I have one nitpick with that moment, Dragon, and it's silly. I hate the design of the bat handcuffs.
You don't like the bat cuffs?
I don't like the bat cuffs. I think the moment would have been more effective if it was just regular handcuffs.
I grew up with those bat cuffs, man.
Oh God, well, that's the thing, Dragon. That's the whole point of this podcast, right? I didn't grow up with the show.
I've cataloged every single one of those. I've had to draw every single one of those gadgets, darn it.
Oh man. Okay. But yeah. I mean, I think you got a little bit more out of that ending than I did, but yeah, still very good. Very good. Okay, so I guess final thoughts on my end. Yeah, like I said, Dragon, I tried watching this thing multiple times. I've seen this thing 5 times, and it just doesn't do it for me, man. It really doesn't. Like I said, I think the first episode was a lot better because it had much more theatricality to it. I thought Catwoman was played better in the first episode. But I gotta say, as it stands now, just because of all the really weak Red Claw stuff, this is my least favorite of the series. I think this does kind of, like I said, there's a Batman, or I've got Batman in my basement, or whatever the fuck. That episode is like, it's so off the wall and corny that, you know me and my kind of love for like off the wall corny stuff. So that's why that episode kind of strikes a chord with me more than this does. I mean, it's still not actively bad outside of the few moments we pointed out with the whole like Red Claw, a woman. It's like that's the only stuff in the episode that's actively bad, but it's just very underwhelming. And I know for a fact that this series is going to get a whole hell of a lot better than this. So can't wait to move forward.
Right. Yeah, this one, it's the main takeaways for me of this one is, it's got some good action. The Batman-Catwoman relationship, especially with that ending, is really nice. However, the agenda's forced, and I guess on the whole, it's like, I'd say it works better, like, both of them back-to-back versus, like, kind of separately, because separately you can see the weakness a little bit more, but, together, at least you get, I think it balances out just a smidge better. I'm not saying it fixes any of the problems. I'm just saying at least it kind of compensates better because you just don't have the whole looking at it as kind of a Red Claw episode versus kind of as a Catwoman episode. Red Claw is just kind of like, I don't know. I just think it balances out the Red Claw stuff a little better if you watch it as like a grand whole.
I could see that, and of course we did kind of take a break, so that makes sense.
I just think it takes the edge off a little, but the problem's still being there, but it's not as apparent if you watch it as like kind of.
Also, we never addressed this, but it is very jarring to have previously on Batman. That really that really caught me off guard. Dragon.
Well, again, you're only going to hear that like 5 times in the entire series. I know. So.
It's just so abnormal for this series, though.
Oh, do you remember who said it though? Because
I'm pretty sure it was Catwoman.
Yeah, because they have the different Batman characters say it every time. So sometimes it's Kevin Conner, sometimes it's Efren Zimbalist Jr. Someone from the episode. Okay.
All right.
All right. So I guess get my Bill Dozier mode here then.
Go ahead.
Absentee Dad or Invisible Man. Jules disappearing into thin air. Can Batman face off against an unseeable foe? How will he even find him? Does anyone have Daredevil's number on speed dial? Find out. Same animated bat time, same animated bat place.
On the next visit to the animated Batcave with See No Evil.
Not the mountain lions.
Oh, Red Claw, a woman?